Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of the Weekend Wrap-Up. I'm your host, Duke Newark. It's Friday again. That's cool. Been waiting all week for the weekend wrap-up. I'm sorry, I won't do that again. So yeah, it's gonna be a warm one today here in the Pacific Northwest. So hopefully it's gonna be at least comfortable wherever you're at. I got some stuff to show. So first off, if you remember the Pride dice and dice box, so you'll notice there's an indentation here. That's where the lid goes. And so I poured that yesterday. It's still a little bit floppy because it hasn't set, but look at that. Isn't that cool? So this goes, and I gotta do some cleanup on it because I got some overpour. That goes right there, look at that. Isn't that freaking awesome? So yeah, so dice box is complete. I held a drawing. Well, let's see, I drew semi-finalists on Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. Five semi-finalists, because I had like 250 entries. Obviously it wasn't all individual people, but several people had like 5 or 6 entries each, which is awesome. That's fantastic. It's exactly what I wanted. I wanted engagement. I wanted excitement. I wanted people to participate. So yeah, had a lot of participation. Narrowed it down to 5 semifinalists, completely random. And then I had those 5. I used a random number picker. Sorry, I'm cleaning, flashing up dice here while I talk. I used a random number picker to pick a number between 1 and 500. Asked them all to choose their own number. Turns there's a reason I did that too. Because there's a lot of folks who just like, they have a keyword search for like giveaway or contest or free, and they just enter they just retweet. There's retweet spam bots. I mean, they might be real people, but really all they're doing is retweeting contests and entering contests. And I didn't want those folks, and I figured those folks, if given the opportunity to have to do more than just a retweet, weren't going to come back. And so after I picked the semifinalists, I was like, okay, well, you got to give me a random number then. You have to come back to this thread, put in your guess, and prove that A, you're a person, and B, even if you were a person, that you care about this, that you're not just in it for the stuff, right? So I got one. So I gave people a deadline. One of them missed the deadline because that's all they were. They were just a retweet, essentially spam bot. They may have been a real person. Either way, they didn't come back. So I moved on to the next person. Ultimately got 5 random numbers. Person who got the closest is I think her name is LB Samuelson. Their name, I don't know. LB Samuelson, who was super excited when I reached out. Apparently visiting their folks in the U.S. right now, going back to Canada at the end of the month. So that's why I had to do this. Because I was like, oh shit, I don't want to pay Canada prices for shipping. So yeah, so once this is set, this is soft cure right now. You can see it's not supposed to do that. Put that back. So I'm gonna let that set up. I just poured that, that's a 12-hour cure, maybe. So I gotta give it another 12 to 18. But with this, I can use this to measure the weight, the shipping weight of this, and buy postage. I don't buy postage at the post office, y'all. If you have a small business, I heartily recommend pirateship.com. I believe it's .com. Way cheaper than the post office. In fact, way cheaper than UPS or FedEx if you have to send something that method as well. And I mean, you can just buy even regular postage for like a letter on there as in addition. So certainly recommend that. But yeah, I can buy postage using the weight because they already gave me the address to ship it to, and then I can get it basically ready to go. So then what I'm hoping is that I can have it ready by before like 2 p.m. or whenever the post office closes on Saturday. Take it down and be like, I already paid my postage, just scan it. And then it'll be there well before next Friday. I think it's because I think a week from today is the last day of the month. And so they're leaving basically August 1st or whatever. So that's very cool. I'm glad to have that going to its new home. The other thing that I'm actually gonna pull these live. So because I was pouring the lid, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna mix up half an ounce of resin just for that. If I'm gonna do a pour, I might as well do a pour. So wife got me these molds. One of these molds for Father's Day. And of course, slightly self-serving. Because she was like, oh, do you think you can make me one of these? Yes, of course. Wow, that's fancy. Oh, sorry. I've been doing this off camera. I'm like, I'll do it live, and do it off camera. That came out pretty cool. Look at that. That's pretty sick, I gotta say. So that's the jar. Looks like a gooey duck. And then the lid's pretty cool, if I recall. There's a lid, there's a little wavy pattern to it. This isn't soft cure, and I'm like wrecking it. Huh. It's a little soft, so try not to handle it too much. So there's the lid. That's how the lid goes. It came out pretty sick. This was legit just pouring resin in a thing. So the fact that it came out like this is actually, does it actually screw on? No, look at that. What the fudge, man? That's cool. That's freaking awesome. It screws on. What? So that's super cool. I like that. Set this aside so we can finish curing. So yeah. So that was one of the molds wife got me for Father's Day. The other one, see, I haven't poured it yet. I don't even know how much resin it takes. Probably a lot. Actually, there's an indicator on it that I think might be. I wish more molds did this. But check that out. So it's a dagger dice box, obviously. Your 7 polyhedrals there. So this would be because these would be the wells. So this would be the bottom. Wait, no, this would be the bottom because these are the wells, and then this would be the top that sits on top. So what I'm hoping is that's how much resin this takes. I can't really eyeball it and tell. I don't know. Maybe it's like as big as my head. Pretty good size. But yeah, let's resin. I get their silicone. Their silicone is fantastic. I haven't tried their resin because the resin I ended up kind of stumbling upon I actually really like because it's very low odor. Like, I usually wear, I mean, I almost always wear PPE, but I feel like if I didn't, it would still be fine. Like, it smells very slightly of nail polish, and that's it. Whereas certain resins I've had in the past, there was one that legit smelled like a dirty carburetor, and I'm like, that's not good for your lungs. Like, no. And even the finished pieces, they had like, you had to let them cure for a really long time before the smell went away. No thanks, man. So all that to say, so I poured some stuff. So yeah, dice are gonna go out to the winner. Jars for the wife. What else? And this is the Duke. Oh, I had some extra. A little leftover. Poured me a set of lava red D6s, and because I had some clear and smoke, a single kind of clear smoky D6. So I'll finish those and put those up in the store for a couple bucks. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, that's not a Kickstarter. Saudade. Authors have been paid. I sent out all the payments yesterday. So they've got their money, or the money's on the way. A couple of them needed converting to either Canadian or Great British pounds. And then one, I actually did a bank check. So that's on its way. So all that's on its way. Authors are paid. I still have money left over. Granted, gotta pay the artists too. So J. Dot is doing a couple of pieces. The Papercraft light box. I don't know if I showed you pictures here. Maybe I'll throw a link to the Twitter post where they shared the prototype. Looks freaking amazing. Like, I can't wait. I like, before we did this, I was planning on asking all the artists for, my own commission of their work. And when Jay showed me just the plain white prototype that wasn't even lit up, and I was like, holy crap, that's amazing. I want that. I was like, I can have one of those, right? And they were like, yeah, sure. So we're getting one of those. And then Moody Ferret, who never underestimate, or I will certainly never underestimate after this, the power and just pure purchasing power of furries. So Moody Ferret, I'll throw a link to her Twitter. She's a Star Trek fan, furry, and actually Bitter Corella's wife, who you may not know the name, but you hopefully know Midnight Pals. So yeah, I wish that she had gotten him to promote the campaign, but I don't think he does that. I don't think he promotes anything. So whatever. It's just very cool that it's like, I love Midnight Pals, and then turns out, his wife is an artist, and I don't know Bitter Corella's pronouns. But yeah, Moody Ferret's an artist, a furry, and like all of her commissions sold out basically immediately. So I owe her quite a bit of money. So I'm gonna send her money for her commission, send Jade their money. And then Mike, mother effing Batman Hawthorne, he donated some signed prints, some out of print signed prints, and just 2 of them sold. That was kind of disappointing. Whatever. But I told him, I was like, hey, there's still a pre-order store. I don't expect we're gonna move many more. But I was like, please go ahead and ship the 2 that we're pledged for, and I'll owe you twice, basically, if we sell any more. And he was like, wait, I'm sending you stuff for the Patreon. You want me to just throw them in there? And I was like, yeah, please. Yeah, that'd be great. You're the man, Mike. So you're the man, Mike. like he watches this. Anyway, yeah. So Saudade's coming along, pay the authors, paying the artists. Next step is surveys, and also formatting. So my weekend's going to be filled with converting the Saudade and We Had Stars Once manuscripts, because I have those in the kind of their print form. Although again, I have to double check that as well. But I have to convert them to e-reader form and then make sure it worked. So I'm going to be doing some very fiddly work this weekend to fix those, because I'm sure there's going to be issues. So I'll work on that, and then once the surveys go out, most likely next week, then once I get those back, I can just immediately shoot the digital copies over to them so they have something, because everybody gets it basically. Well, there are a couple people that pledge for no reward, but basically no matter what level you pledge for, you get a digital copy. So gotta make sure that's good to go. That's it, I think. This is running long anyway, so I will sign off here. No question today. I don't know. I can't come up with questions. Maybe I'll think of one ahead of time for next week. But anyway, because next week's the first. No, next week's still the 30th. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, I hope you're well. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And until next time.